Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? In this lesson, we're going to be looking at the verb dejar in Spanish and discuss leaving a tip or a lot of different ways to use this. Okay, so dejar means to leave. Okay, but it's not talking about when we leave a place. Okay, it's like leaving something behind, but it also has other uses. So let's just look at all the different ways to use it. Up first, I'm going to start with that example that I've already mentioned. I'm in a restaurant and I tell the people at my table, I'm going to leave the tip. Okay, so that would be voy a dejar la propina. Voy a dejar la propina. Okay, so if I say I'm going to leave something somewhere, I can use dejar. All right, here are some other ways to use it. We can use it to indicate the effect of something, as in, something will leave you in a certain condition. Here's an example. This exercise will leave you on the floor. You ever felt that way before? Este ejercicio te dejará en el suelo. All right. You can also use it to describe where you put something. Someone asks you where they can find something and you try to tell them where you put it. That's really the same thing as where you left it, right? An example is, I left the keys on the counter. That's where you can find them. Dejé las llaves en el mostrador. Now, we can also use this verb to indicate we may have forgotten something and we're wondering where we left it. An example is you're thinking really hard and you're trying to remember where you left those keys. You don't know. You may say, ¿Dónde dejé las llaves? Okay, you see, it works pretty much the same. And we can do the same thing in Spanish that we do in English sometimes. We can say, we're going to leave something as it is. We're not going to change it. An example is, he wants to leave the car red. He's not going to change it. He likes the way it is. Él quiere dejar el coche rojo. Okay? Now, dejar can also be used to say you dropped something off. Did you just drop off the package? ¿Acabas de dejar el paquete? All right. Another use is when we just leave someone alone. If somebody says, leave me alone, all right, they may say, déjame solo. Or they may even say, déjame en paz. Leave me in peace. Now, this verb could also be used to say someone is going to leave another person, as in they're going to break up, all right? Drama. If you said she left her husband, you could say, ella dejó a su marido. I hope that's not the case. But anyways, that's how you would say it. Let's look at a few more. It could be used to say allow or permit in some cases. If you were to say, they let me leave early, that could be, me dejaron salir temprano. Let's look at one more in this context. You didn't let me finish. You ever had to say that to somebody? You didn't let me finish. No me dejaste terminar. All right. Now let's modify this just a little bit. If we add de and an infinitive after the verb, we can actually say that an action stopped. Here's an example. They stopped working. Ellos dejaron de trabajar. All right, maybe that was a good thing, I don't know. Anytime an action has stopped, we can use this structure, all right? You know how parents look at kids and they say, stop laughing, this is not funny. And then you're trying not to laugh yourself, right? You could use this structure to say that. Okay, in the same way. All right, now the last thing I want to explain about this verb is the use of dejar as a reflexive verb. Okay, if you don't know what reflexive is, jump back. I have a lesson on it. Talk all about what reflexive is, how to form it. But let's just assume that you've already been through that and can continue on, but you can use dejar as a reflexive verb, and there are really two ways that this verb is used reflexively. Okay, so the first one is to say to let oneself go. And by this, we mean someone isn't taking care of himself or herself. So I hope that's not the case. But if I were to say he let himself go, I could say él se dejó. All right. The second way to use this reflexively is to allow oneself to go through something or allow something to happen to oneself or not let something happen to oneself. It can be positive or negative experience, but we can say that you've allowed something to happen to you. Here's an example. He didn't let himself be changed. Okay? You see, he didn't let himself go through that. No se dejó cambiar. Okay, that was a lot of information. I recommend you go back through this lesson and take it case by case. Learn one form, practice it all you can, then add another use of the verb to your conversations. You'll have it down in no time. I know you will, because you're awesome, amazing, you're fantastico. Thanks for watching. Until I see you again, I wish for you and all your family and friends paz y bendiciones. Hasta pronto.